Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a calculator to support Kilt makers, and we've done most of the calculator part. You had numbers, you could enter fractions, you can get results in fractions, and we're going to move on to different aspects of Kilt making. I'm learning as I go. We're out with my wife for about 2 hours last night trying to get this stuff straight. But we'll start looking at box pleats. All right, so first thing, talk about tartans. So the tartan is, a plaid like you've seen before probably. And they have the notion of a set, S-E-T-T. The set is the distance, it's kind of the distance before the repeat happens. So if I look at the first set top left, it's sort of pointing at that yellow stripe. From that yellow stripe to the next yellow stripe, you'll see inside it, it's blue, green, blue, red. And same in the next one, blue, green, blue, red. That's the stripes. But you can pick any repeat you want to use. And so I've shown the first one shows yellow to yellow. This one shows green to green. Bottom left is red to red. Bottom right is blue to blue, one of the blues. All right, I should adjust this though, because probably one of the interesting ones is if let's get this well, I think that's about centered. Let's see how that looks. Whoops. This one now, that second set on the top right, notice I put the yellow stripe in the exact middle. And so there's a way of making them called to the stripe, and that says arrange things so that the yellow stripe or red or whatever stripe you pick is kind of coming down the center of the pleat. Okay. Now, before I leave this, every tartan has its own set. Okay. So this one, let's say it's 6 inches apart, yellow to yellow or red to red or whatever. You might come to another one that's 7 3/4 or 9.5 or whatever. If you're getting a Cochrane plaid of some sort, it also matters. There's patterns called ancient and modern, and there's variations. Every different one has its own set width, and usually they tell you that. And my wife pointed out they usually tell you in centimeters, even though you have to work in inches, at least the way they do. So there's some, you can tell they're kind of migrating over that way. But at any rate, if you do to the stripe, you get a very nice look with each pleat having a yellow stripe. Now, I may say this later, but normally one set is the basis for one pleat. Okay, and we'll see how that kind of works in a minute. But you can have situations where you use 3/4 of a set or a set and a half or maybe 2 sets or something, different possibilities as you work through and try to figure out what would make a good kilt for this person. Okay. Now, this is the side view of pleats, and pleats are folded over fabric, that might often see on a skirt or something. All right, and in this case, I'm showing the width of kind of one pleat, and I put a little bar in the middle that's kind of like representing the stripe. So if you tilted this away from vertical, you'd tip it up, you'd kind of see the length of that stripe going up the kilt, okay? And when you fold this, okay, I don't really have a pointer. Let me break out of this again. Okay, so if I consider, like, the pleat's kind of the focus, but this stuff going down and back, the lower sides of the pleats, my ideal case is I have no gap. And so if this is 2 inches, then this has to be 1 inch and this has to be 1 inch. And so you end up with 3 layers of fabric together like that. And same over here, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Okay. And so between that, I've got 6 inches. So if I had a 6-inch set, the width of my repeat block, and I made a 2-inch pleat, 1/3 of it, basically 1/3 goes in front, 1/3 on the left, and 1/3 on the right. Okay. Now, if my block was, say, my set was 5.5 inches, and I tried to do a 2-inch pleat. Well, I don't have 6 inches of fabric, so I'm going to have a gap. And this lets you stretch your fabric a little, but you don't want this gap to be, 3/4 of an inch or anything like that. Half an inch. I don't know what's too big. I'll probably have to learn at some point here, but a 1/4 inch, it's like, okay, that's fine. I gain a 1/4 inch on each pleat. Maybe that's enough to make it feasible. Okay. Let's see what else. The gaps on top, okay, those are ideally nothing. I mean, they should ideally touch or just maybe miss by a hair. So we want that one nice and tight every time. But notice if you have a gap, let's say we had a gap that was, half, well, let's divide this into quarters. If I do this quarter, sorry, I don't know if I can show. If, let's say my gap was from here to here. All right, so if this is 2 inches, I have half an inch here and half an inch here, so a 1-inch gap. Well, what the effect of that would be these would pull in, and you have little depth in here, and that would affect the look of the kilt. So when somebody, if the kilt swishes as you walk a little bit, these pop open a little bit, and when you have a lot of depth in there, you get a real color contrast. Compared to if you have just a little depth, you just kind of get whatever little bit of fabric is there. But, if you have a lot, like you might have a green, that blue, green, blue, red, kind of thing going on in here, and you get a little more interest. Okay. Whoops. All right. So, and I just drew the blue triangles just to show those are the part that's kind of facing down to the bottom, and they have the gaps. All right. So one of the things we want to do then is somebody comes in knowing I need so many pleats or so much space for pleats. Let's say, well, can we keep it easy? Let's say you're a very large person with a 60-inch waist, okay, and maybe they take 30 inches for the pleats in back. Okay, I should maybe work on that piece too. But you got to decide how much is in front and how much is in back. If you took 30 inches, which is a large kilt, but add up all the pleats, they have to add up to 30 inches. So that kind of depends, like if every set is one pleat, which is kind of the ideal. Let's go back. So if every set makes a pleat and a set is, let's say 9 inches, you would have 3-inch pleats, times you'd need 10 3-inch pleats would get you your 30 inches. So we're trying to think through those kind of situations. All right. And so to figure out, there's sort of, this is not a plug and play situation. What you do is you build up these scenarios, and from each scenario, you can play around with things to try and make it work out in your favor. So you normally come in with the measurement, let's say your hip measurement is kind of the one that counts for the number of pleats. And it's just half of your hip to, it's, sort of hip to hip going behind you, say. You've made that kind of possibility, and that comes in inches. And then your set width, you need to know that, or the width of your set, you need to know. I guess the set is a width. You'll want that. And then you need to know how many sets per pleat. Are you going to use 1 set per pleat, or 1.5, or 3/4, or what? We can start with 1 because that's sort of the ideal and the easiest to deal with. Then you have a pleat size, like how wide is your pleat? I guess I should say width, maybe. I'm just going to edit everything as I go. I don't know why I'm bothering showing it in full size. Okay, but your pleat width, how many inches wide is a pleat? How many pleats do you need? And how much gap will that cause? So I'm going to try and pick easy numbers so I can do it in my head. But let's say I have a 6-inch set, and I would like a pleat with no gap. So that means I got to divide by 3 basically. So a 2-inch pleat. Now, if I choose a 2-inch pleat and I've told you the number of inches, like that sort of has to come out the same, right? So the number of pleats times the pleat width tells me how wide am I getting it from hip to hip. Okay. And so I think you're not going to change the hip to hip because, you're not going to make a kilt for a different person, right? It's the same person. So this mostly won't change. The set mostly won't change. The sets per pleat, that's a bit of a decision, but normally it's you wouldn't. Well, maybe you would. Maybe you could say, oh, I can do it if, you use 2 sets per pleat or something. I don't know. I'll have to investigate. Okay. But pleat width, you may say, I'd like 2-inch pleats. What's the consequence? If my set is 5 inches, I'm going to have a gap, okay, because of that. And the number of pleats, let's say 30 inches. If it's 2-inch pleats, I'm going to have 15 pleats, okay? If it's 1-inch pleats, I'm going to have 30 pleats. All right. And then from that, you can also derive how much fabric are you using, because every pleat takes 1 set or however, 1.5 or whatever sets. So multiply that times the inches per set, and you can say how much yardage are you using for the back. All right. Now the thing I want to happen, so I'm trying to figure this out, but there's it's sort of constraints, right? And if I change the pleat width, like if I half the pleat width, I need to double the pleats, okay? Because I'm targeting some particular hip measurement. And if I choose a pleat width that's not exactly 1/3 of a set, I've either got to leave a gap or pick a different sets per pleat. And so I don't know, it's kind of nice not to leave a gap, but it's kind of a pain to do a pleat or a set and a half per pleat. So, you got these trade-offs. But I kind of want to make it like as you change things, I don't want input or set to change because you're kind of locking those in. But if I change the sets per pleat, things are going to happen differently. If I change the pleat width, the number of pleats should go down, and maybe there's a gap, and so that comes in too. So I'm feeling my way through this stuff, really. But my vision of this thing is you have some sort of input table like this, and I have some other ideas on how you get there, but you have this input table, and we have a picture that's probably maybe the middle half or so of this picture. And it labels where it says pleat. I would like it to say pleat 2 inches, and then, or maybe above it or whatever, and then gap, 1 inch or whatever the result is. And I think that would be a helpful thing. So you would find out, oh, you have to have a gap if you want to do it this way. Well, maybe I'll consider doing something else then. Okay. Let's see. So this is very exploratory is where we're going with things. Let's see. So 3 sets are required for 1 fold. No, it's really 1 set. Normal case, you take 1/3 of the set as your pleat width. So 1/3 of it goes in front, and then the other 2/3 make that that bit underneath. So when you're wearing it, in effect, with the box pleat, if you have no gap, it's 3 layers thick. Okay, because this point really presses all the way up to there. So so from like this dot halfway through here to halfway through here is one set worth of fabric, of which 1/3 of that is in front and the other 2/3 are in back. Now, maybe a little less than 2/3 if you have a gap, but you know, that's the complexity of it. Okay. How do you handle if hip to hip is not a multiple of set width? Yeah, this is where you're playing around. So we're doing kind of a scenario builder. And I think what I want is something like, I don't know, maybe from the gray box or something like that. And then it fills in on it to say your pleat's 2 inches, your gap's 1/4 inch. And if they go, oh, I don't like a gap, what if I did an 1.5 inch pleat? Would that work? And that, yeah. Now there are we're talking about box pleats. There are a couple other variations. One is probably the easy one to explain from here is called a military pleat, and a military box pleat. I wore her out on box pleat. We didn't go into these, but let's say you had a lot of extra fabric. Let's say you had a 12-inch set and you wanted a 2-inch pleat. Now you got 10 inches of fabric. Well, if you went back and forth twice, that's only 6 inches. You got 4 inches extra fabric. So in effect, what you do is you stretch this out normally on just the left. Let's see, in my example, I need to make up 4 inches. So this would have an extra inch, 2 inches out and 2 inches back, which would overlay like 1 or 2 previous pleats. And so you have even thicker layering. And I don't know I guess I can speculate why that's military, but I can believe they wanted it extra warm. And so if you can choose to do the military box pleat, or you can choose what's called a knife pleat. I don't know if I can quickly draw that. And I guess this guy, he's not so good. It's something like that. Okay, and my longer term goal is to make ones, cover all 3 types of pleats, and there may be more pleats I don't know about. But a knife pleat, you're just doing kind of waves, and this goes up, this goes back. And so your apparent pleat is this much. And then this is your depth. And again, the depth could be pretty deep. This way, the flash, if you spin it, it's kind of only one way. So kind of if you spin one way, you don't see it. If you spin the other, you really see a deep color shift. Okay. And so I'm expecting at some point to let you choose between box, knife, and military. Or it may be that military falls out if you, like this one is, you have a gap because you're too small. But if you're too large, maybe that extra fabric goes over here. It's a military pleat, and it's the same situation. I'd have to look at it. The waist holds the set in place. Yeah, let's see. I think, let me make a new slide. Is it this? No. This. Okay. So, normally, and this was the other one I thought about doing, but let's say you have your waist and hip measurement. Let's say you're skinnier in the waist than the hips. Unfortunately, that's not me, but it can, better people than me might be. Okay. And a couple more. So your waist measurement is the upper one. And that's normally done somewhere around your belly button is considered your waist. It may be that you would measure the skinniest part of somebody, or, well, I guess it doesn't help if you're a beer barrel guy. Your skinniest part is up by your, armpits. So normally your waist, your belly button, or maybe an inch or two above it. And then this is your hip measurement. And you get this kind of, sort of like, I don't know if they call this an A-line skirt kind of thing, but this line, honestly, it goes out a little bit probably. Okay, so it ends up looking something like this, although this may be more straight up and down, theoretically. I'd have to, again, dig in with my wife on that. But yeah, so your waist is up here. I guess I could have used that text. And they take 3 measurements: your waist, your hips, and I'm thinking we might draw a picture like this at some point too. And then the third is the length. Waist to hem, or bottom edge, let's say. Okay, so normally you want to make a kilt for somebody, you would measure most for many women, the skinny part of their waist, and then the hips is sort of the fat, or the biggest part of your around your butt, basically. You want to try and get the biggest, and then I'm almost to scale, I guess. This part where between the waist and the hips is called the fell. Fell, and it's usually 1/3 of length. Okay, so 1/3 of the kilt is between here and here, and the 2/3 down, hanging down. And then, I don't know, do we have a curly line? Makes it hard. All right, but down here, this is usually like fringed on the bottom, or can be hemmed or fringed. Okay, but those 3 measurements give you the shape of a kilt. There is a whole process they go through. Given those 3 measurements, how do you decide, like, how much across you want to use? And there's, I don't know. I thought it was an interesting problem, but I didn't understand enough to know the answers. But basically, they figure out this part up here is called the apron. I'm sorry, the front of your kilt, the flat part, is your apron, and the back of your kilt is the pleats. Okay, and so you've got their waist, which has all the way around, and you got to decide how much in front and how much in back. And if you're beer belly guy, you want a lot more in front than you do in back. Okay, most people, there's kind of a curve in the small of your back, and so you'll shrink the back part a little bit in normal circumstances, and try and give that extra space to the front normally. But again, you're kind of going through a bunch of scenarios. You can kind of change the balance between how much do you give waist versus hip, or something like that. And then actually they do some things, like there are times where, okay, you get somebody that's too skinny, like if the gap is, the difference between these is like more than 5 inches, you may find, like, if somebody has a very skinny hips, you end up needing padding in there to kind of puff it out a little bit, so it can kind of look like a normal skirt. All right. Anyway, let's see. Thanks. Waist hold the sets in place. Oh yeah. So the sets are just the patterns, so they're not. I would say more you're holding the pleats in place, and I would have to check. I think you sew. I think you sew a pleat down in the fell section, and then in here you're just pressing it, so it's got that gap, and you iron it flat. But the sewing part is up here, and then down here it's just folds. Okay, folds that are ironed, so they mostly stay flat. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it always fascinates me to get into a domain, because it's like there's just a lot of little complications and twists and all that going on. All right, so let's say this is what we'll work on, pleat calculator. And then the other section we could do is kind of the input for that. And I'm going to call it apron. I'm going to call it A/P. I don't know if that's what they call it, but apron pleat. where you're choosing how much in front, how much in back. Another one for that is like, say your waist is 32 and a half. Okay. Sorry, say your hips are 40 and a half. Well, it's a lot easier to divide things into 40 than it is into 40 and a half. So you might take half an inch from the back side, the pleats, and move it to the front side, the apron, just to make math easier on the pleat side. Because the front side, you're just stretching out a piece of cloth, and that's kind of the heart of it. You're not doing a lot to it. Okay, there is, I don't know, normally a kilt kind of wraps around. It's enough to you fold it over yourself, and then you fold the front over that as well. So it's kind of two thick layers in front, and then pleats in back. Yeah, front is flat fabric, and I'll bring one out sometime, maybe after we get going a bit. But there's a fair bit of construction tricks to it and stuff. There are little one trick is called hidden pleats, and it's sort of a way to get an extra pleat in if you need, another couple inches of fabric used up or something. It's just kind of, I'm not sure we'll get into that. I'll let them fuss on that. But we're going to start with this box pleat calculator, and I'm just calling it Z just because it's the closest looking thing I could find to folded fabric. Like looking in the symbols you can use, I didn't see a good candidate. The letter Z was the only one that to me that looked anything like a fold or a fabric. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to repeat that search because there's just too much. But most of these are not, they're more interesting than simple squares and stuff like that. But I didn't see anything that looked like a pleat, so I'm using Z. I mean, maybe that might be a good candidate. Actually, that kind of is, isn't it? Rectangle split 3x1. Okay, where am I going? 3x1. Okay. Yeah, that's a little pleat-like. All right. Let's see. So I guess this is a whole topic. Oh, Sigma. Yeah, that's a good one. Good idea. You'd think they'd have all the Greek letters. Oh. Okay, but this will do. I mean, that's more or less. I could do the fill, but that's better than what I found before. Rectangle portrait split 3 would be nice, but I don't see that. I guess that's worth skimming through if there's anything else that looks that way. Yeah, like my biggest problem is not having the right icon for this button, right? Okay, I'm surprised it doesn't. I mean, we could use a Sigma because we can put any these can be letters or symbols, that's fine. Anything in Unicode or any SF beta symbols. Actually, I don't think any of these are symbols. They are all Unicode characters so far. Pretty sure that one is. Okay. So, wow. Well, pleat calculations. All right. I guess one thing is, like, we got this, there's sort of a form here, right, of all these calculations. And they have a type. That's plain inches. That's a fraction of an inch. Fractions. That's not inches, but it's just a fraction. I wouldn't make them type the word inch. But I think let's take a go at putting this form in. So I'm going to start on the content of well, it's not content view, but the view side, and create a mock-up screen that will get us somewhere. Okay. All right. So we'll start with this. I don't know what happens if I copy this table. What if I put it in here? Do I get anything? Yeah, that's all right. Okay. And then the second thing is I want this kind of drawing that's, I guess it's at least the, well, it's probably this. Start on the left edge coming out, and then this, that's the set point, and then here. Okay. And if you showed that, and then I think we need some sort of button that's like save. Or yeah, I mean, I think you want to go through and you're going to generate a bunch of scenarios and then decide which one you're going to settle on. They all have their trade-offs. And at some point in the future, we might be able to put some constraints in that say like, hey, half an inch is the largest gap you should really consider. Beyond that, you're really encroaching on your pleat, your they call it swishability, your swishability. And that's definitely a concern for people wearing them. I think of, I don't know if you've ever seen Scottish dancers, but they have a similar, well, kind of a Highland kick or whatever. They wear kilts and they dance, and part of it is you'll look better if you have a very swishable kilt. Okay. So I guess if we can put those two things together, so a view with a form and a labeled picture. Okay. And then we've got to figure out how to make form respond to changes. So I don't know if these formulas, like if I change the pleat width, the number of pleats has to change, given this is fixed. But I could, I don't know. I feel like you have these three variables. You could, like, if you said, I'm willing to tolerate a 1/4 inch gap, how big can my pleat be? And how many do I need? Okay, that would be interesting. But some of them you want to kind of lock down, and I could almost see putting a lock in on this. So if I said, this is locked, so these two just have to deal with it, and this one deals with it. And if you change the in out, you get the pleat width different. There's no way you can change that, right? I don't know. Maybe this is just an output, but I would think you'd want to be able to say, what if you gave it a 1/2 inch gap? Would you be able to do anything? All right. Figure out how to make form respond to changes, and then save scenarios. And make picture respond to changes. Okay. And maybe this comes in the other order. All right. So let's make us a view. I haven't worked out how we'll get there, but I think that Z key for now will just say when you do that, you open a new view. Is that a sheet? I don't know what that view is. We'll have to get there. All right. Well, this is a view. Let's call it pleat view. Okay. And they're nice enough. They've created, I've got a, what do you call it? A show and tell. Oh, yeah, bring it over here. So this came for me today. It's called Nicholson Plaid. And we used to live in Williamsburg, historic Williamsburg, in the Nicholson store. So it's got a little sentimental attachment. You can see there's the set. Here's a big fat line to a big fat line. So that's maybe 6 inches or something. Or I could pick the first green line to the first green line. It's all steady across. And I don't know if she's decided which which stripe is going to be in the middle or how that's going to be yet, but that'll be a new kilt someday here. Yeah, very soon, I hope. Okay, let's see. So let's keep this preview rolling. Now, I don't know why their initial form does not conform to my tabs. That's kind of annoying. All right. Oh, and you say this is miserable. Mirrored. No, I don't know. I wasn't looking close enough. I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting if you had mirrored patterns and you could make everything kind of work out from the center, but I don't know if that's the case. Okay. Now, well, we'll keep this running a bit, but if it's annoying on the video, let me know and I'll just go back to running it. But we're going to put, well, I guess navigation view. Let's move this up. And then the navigation title is Pleats. Navigation view. Okay. And we want a form. Now, I don't remember anything about forms. We don't need hello world. But let's put this in a stack. Yeah, I think it does get a little better over time. I don't know that. I like the preview. I'm glad they added it, but it just has been so flaky for me. It seems like the next beta they're talking about, they've done even more to make the preview work well. Let's hope performance optimization is one of those things. All right. And then, I don't know, I'm going to say image, what's the system name? And we said it was rectangle dot something. Split dot 3.1. Whoops. Move this over. Close tabs to the right. Okay. That's okay. We'll put a spacer. I'm going to say fill and dot font dot large title. I think I can zoom in. Yeah. Okay. Well, that image is going to be different. All right. Let's go through our possibilities here. Hip to hip rear. I'm on a M1. So, yeah, well, the cool kids with M2s, I'm not one of those yet. Let's see. Fortunately, I buy my laptops or computers far enough apart that each time it's still a bit of a boost to get it. Okay, so I'm going to have to look up Swift UI form example because I just don't remember. I mean, mostly we've got text fields. I kind of could do those. Comprehensive guide. Okay, that's probably a good start. Text fields, that's us. All right, I think I could just give them labels. I don't know what that constant blank thing's doing. All right, but title key text value format. Text font label. A text field with a label generated from a localized title string, text, and prompt. Right, okay. Let's call this hip to hip rear. The text is, yeah, I mean, there may be, I don't know. I don't think I have I do have a file copy running in the background. I can close this and this. All right, let me just take care of that. Okay, well, that may help something. Right, yeah, I don't think I can really get rid of the rest. Okay, let's make a field for it. Hip to hip measure. I guess we'll say double. Yeah, I mean, it should be a little worse at the beginning, but if it's bad every time. And then prompt, I don't know what this is. Oh, you don't like that. Binding string, I think I can, oh, see if I can leave that out. Okay, I think I can do value hip with formatter. I think. Failed to build. Oh, hip to hip. Let's make this 20. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if that's it now. Yeah, I don't get that. I thought if you had it in a form, it would put that label there. Maybe I should be reading this a little more intently. I mean, he seems to have a text there, so he can do that. Text name, placeholder. Oh, there's a placeholder. You can just explicitly say. Padding. I don't know. Name, font, headline. He's using constant blank. Where's good old hacking with Swift? Yeah. I don't know if that's more of a. I've been going through 100 days of Swift UI lately. It's been really good experience. I'm waiting for a text field. Text loyalty number. Well, I'm not too happy. Maybe I should be looking at apples and really learn what I'm doing. Okay, picker. An awful lot of constructors. Text field style. There we go. Okay, text field. Okay, name, text. On submit, okay. Doesn't have to be a string. Format name, okay, interesting. That's kind of what we're doing, except I'm doing format number. I guess I could do format dot number. Now, unfortunately, they're not very good about. Oh, here we go. Give a name. Text field prompt. Okay, so prompt is. Oh, that is more like a placeholder. Oh, I can put text in it. Oh, okay. Well, which version am I doing? Text prompt. But they did value format proper name. No, that doesn't look right. And it's like, which combination? Text field with a string. Okay, we don't want to do that. Text field with a value. Okay, so a string, a value, a format. Label generated from a title string. String, value, format. Prompt. Now, prompt and label. So value, format, prompt, and then label. Value, format, prompt is optional, then label. Oh, come on. Why aren't you? Yeah. Value, format, prompt, label. Value, format, prompt, and label. Ugh, this is annoying. Value, format, prompt, label. That's what we did. Any others with a label? Value, formatter, prompt, label. Okay. Let's try this one. Value, text. Text, prompt, label. Okay. Text is binding. Oh, text. Well, what the heck? Is the form screwing it up? No. Okay. Example with numeric field Swift UI. Right. I mean, that's a nice touch. But it doesn't change it too much. Okay, let's try something else. Swift UI form doesn't show field titles. Title is never shown if prompt is provided. Oh yeah. That's a good question. Mac OS uses. Oh, I'm on a iOS. Okay, but still. I guess that's not really running. Yeah, I think it is all different depending on the variants, and that's a bit annoying. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll do it in here for now. I think maybe I just had to accept that, like a lot of these forms, they do this. I don't know how you get separate. Right, that just doesn't look good to me. Oh, maybe I should look at this first. Text field. The problem with prompt is as soon as you start typing, it goes away, and every bit of stuff you want to know is gone. Well, let's try HTag. Now, how is it it's not showing a default? Oh. Because you still have this. Yeah, I mean, that's what I want is, and I'd hoped that the title would show that. I swear I've seen some decent looking forms before. And this, well, I probably could make this. The text in the closure should be the label. Yeah, I agree. I think it may be that on Mac OS it would be the label, but iOS is so cramped they decided to not show them. But I don't know. I'm trying to think, do I have an application that needs a form? Um. Well, here's whether, it's got a text field up top and it's just got the prompt text for a title. I'm trying to think of something where you'd have an actual entry form. Maybe I just haven't seen a lot of those. I'm trying stocks. Never use it. No. Maybe, I guess I could do it here. Reminders is not. Okay, well, there's a note. Yeah, they're just using that. I don't know if we can find one that's. Yeah, they just got text, plain text, and a note. Well, I could. It would be nice if this were alignment. Oh, it's vertical alignment. I never can get this straight. I should use labeled content. Is that a modifier? Labeled content style. Oh, labeled content. Okay, good call. You got something going there. But that's not a. Is that a form? Well, so I don't know if I can do the similar. Failed to build. Okay, I guess I get to put it in. Okay, let's try that with our thing inside. Well, we can probably use a different one, right? Text field. Insert missing. Okay, we're getting something. Brightness. Why? Now, I thought it said it was going to put the content on the right. So this should go away. I'm messing something up. Okay, so I don't need HDEX with labeled context coming around. In. Well, I guess the text field is right indented, but its contents are not, right? Can I do alignment on this? Alignment guide, multi-line text alignment. Well, there we go. Okay. I'd really like to get I really like to say 20 inches, but okay, let's press on. Okay, so by the same argument, this one can be labeled content. Content. This with label that. Okay, well, that's definitely putting us on a better track here. What to do? All right, let's get these others in. I don't know if Well, I think we could, if we passed in this string and this value, that would go in the text. Yeah, let's do that. Labels a string. Okay, we'll get there. Come on. All right, that one's different, but this one. Okay, this becomes label. This becomes a label. This becomes bound double. And that, okay. So that one's different, but this is field hip to hip rear. His binding is $hip to hip. Sets per pleat. Pleat width. Something wrong here. Form track. Closure past parameter or form stock configuration. That one looks okay. I mean, I've got a couple undeclared still. When was the gap? 0. What did I call it? Pleat count? Nav VStack form. There's the form. There's the VStack. Here's the nav. Here's the body. Oh, I'm missing a print. Extra print, okay. Let's see what that is. Okay. Well, let's take a break. We got the form. It's bigger than I thought, but we can fit our image in there, I think. Alrighty, so 3 or 4 minutes. See you then. All right, welcome back. So, what I'd like to happen then, well, let me add one thing. This thing should be allowed to be longer. Is it line limit? 3. Okay. And all right, so I want to replace this image with a drawing. I feel like I'm doing this all the time, just like, oh, I've never done this. I know I've done something with some canvas stuff, but I had the feeling that was more, yeah, immediate mode. Like, do I care about that aspect? Yeah, drawing shapes. Okay, yeah, context. You can do this stuff. Well, that seems very doable. All right, let's make a pleat drawing, I guess, and I'll just make a brand new entry for it. Another Swift UI view. I think drawing conveys view enough. All right. And what we want to do, let's take this and put it in there. Okay, so that's still showing up there. That's a good sign. All right. So the drawing we need, it's actually kind of constant, except for I want to put the values in here. But I just want to provide, I guess I want to draw from this to there, to there, to there, to there, to there. Okay. So apparently I just need to do a little canvas stuff. I don't know what this size is. I guess that's the size of the window. Let's just take this for an example. Nice. Okay. Oh, what did I see in there? Let's do this and this. Okay, so it's a very, I mean, it strikes me as a normal kind of drawing thing. You get, you get some information, you build up paths and stroke it and all that. Okay, I don't know what this line dash thing is. All right, but in our case, I want to go. Where's path? Okay. I don't know if I do. What ellipse in a rectangle? Okay, we can look up canvas. I should be able to just either create a path for a line. There we go. Stroke with an ellipse. What can we do? Oh, I guess that's on here. Okay, CG point. Width divided by 4. Height divided by 4. Okay. Well, let's just set line equals CG. Line? No. Okay. Yeah, we can pull that up. Path. Image, text, child. There's a stroke. This path's the one I want to look at. Yeah, I don't know. Do we call it dentagram? Yeah, okay. Oh, we did. I'm not seeing the actual drawing thing. Oh, wait, here we go. Horizontal line. Branch. Yeah, we did do paths. Okay. Yeah, this is the kind of thing. Oops. Okay. What they start my point. Just close the parameter. We didn't need that. Right, we're all some shape. I don't know where we got these points. But all we do is draw a group. A horizontal line is a shape. Okay, so I guess we don't need content. Well, we don't need origin either, particularly. We do need size. I don't know where it's going to draw. I just want to see something. Size dot width. Oh, that's X. We'll straighten it out shortly. I just want to get something I choose drawing. Sorry, this needs to be a shape of some sort. Let's see. Oh, I'm sure those are good, but I just don't have the patience. Given the following method, rectangle, what path do you want to draw? Oh, well, that's a reasonable start. Okay. Now we can be real. All right, so in rectangle, add line. Why does it get stroked or filled? Okay, so that's the center. I want to draw a pleat. I want to draw from here, the bottom of the first pleat, to the bottom of that third pleat on the, from the right to the left. So I'm going to draw right, left, right, left, right, left, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strokes. Okay. Okay, so that's halfway up. I want to add a line. To the shape that made it filled. Yeah, I think maybe. So this was move to the middle. Add a line from x min x, y max y. I'm not sure. Maybe it is that it's closed path. Well, let's hope. Let's see. So 1, 2. I guess this is more or less half. Okay, add line 2. X colon. See if we got enough going on to see anything. Well, return path. Min X. Okay, so I'm drawing this line. Then I want to go to min X. Y. Okay. Let's see how we not make a shape, not do that. Oh, without an explicit fill or stroke, get filled based on the foreground. Okay. So let's try stroke. S. Is unused. Oh, close. Yeah, I'm just not sure what did that. See if that result of stroke width is never used. What does stroke return? Returns a shape. Returns a shape that is a stroked copy of self with line width defined by line width. So I think I want to put this at the end. Take out these two and see what that does. Cannot return expression some state. Oh. Well, no, that doesn't help. A new shape. Okay, so where's my shape? Pleaty. Haha. Okay. Progress. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so let's make this plus 20. Then we want to go from min x plus. Well, I guess this is really add line 2. So the new place is rec dot max x minus 20. Then we want to go from there back to mid y. Well, this has to be mid y. And x is, I think it's min x plus 100. Oop. 50 is going to get us for, oh. Min x minus 100. Yeah, that's certainly not going to work. Plus 100. And then we want to go from there to x max x. Like so. Golly. Oh, mid x. Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, good catch. Right. Make this a little more noticeable. Okay. I think that's enough to tell us what we're doing. Now let's clean that up a bit. I think that's okay. It's more or less somewhere out here to somewhere in here. Okay. It's kind of a clunky way to do it, isn't it? Well, let's pull out some stuff. Okay, so this is the gap. It's 10. So this is minus gap plus gap. Okay. 50. Well, and he's not big enough with that 5. Why is that having no? Oh, there it is. Okay, a little slow. Yeah, I mean, it definitely scales to whatever thing we put it in. I guess I would like, okay, this, let's name that. Um, well, it's something about the pleat. Previous pleat visible, that's a little too much. Maybe previous pleat would work. 50. And this is pleat height. All right, now let's play with this. Let's make this big so it looks taller. Good. Actually, I think 50 was about right. Okay, oops, 50. This, I think, could stand to be bigger. Okay. Now, can I put text where I want it? I almost think that's the closed subpath we saw. They did a move. No, I had that. They did a rectangle, drew an ellipse in it, added some path to it, set some color. And they're doing it all in the context. Yeah, okay. I think we're not as complicated as that with this. Okay, so I'd like to draw a little arrow stuff. How hard is that? And I'd like it in a different color. Okay, so let's find out about Swift UI path, close subpath. Oh, okay. All right, that's more like you were suggesting. Okay. Well, the nice thing is, I mean, let's do a V stack. think if we center these, okay, so that now I should be able to just say text. Well, what if I did this? Pleat. Huh. What's going on? It's like that's taking as much as it can. The width is 100%. The height is probably pleat height. Connect to static. That should have been a little too small for it. And that helps if you would rename it. You don't have to worry about messing with that. Although the renaming tool is probably okay. Let's make this times 1.2. Oh, so weird. Let's make it 0. Okay. I don't want to push gap further down. Why would that do that? He draws outside his thing. Okay. Let's recompute this. Let's start this at min y. Min y. Oh, am I backwards? Is it max? Okay. Oh, no, I'm multiplying. I don't need to. Oh, pleat height. Why is the frame... like this one? I think that's the wrong way. Min Y plus pleat height. Oh, this stuff kills me. Why? Well, no, that's min Y. Oh, it's min Y. It should be max Y? Oh. I mean, I think it should go to max Y, shouldn't it? Yeah, I think that would actually be better. Okay, so I think our X's are okay, so I just have to worry about the Y's. Max Y, yes. And a line there to max Y, yes. Let's go to min Y. And min Y. And max Y. Okay, now I gotta get this thing, that down to pleat height. Okay. And take out the border. But the border trick is good. I'm glad I learned that one. I like it. Now, I think... Oh, this preview I want to be in my main thing. I just deleted the frame thing. Okay, and then I want to and I don't think I need this now. Okay. Oh, man. Let's be consistent here. But I kind of do want like a little blue line with little arrowheads. Okay, 3 o'clock. So we got a little time we can do this. All right. So I believe it's Pleaty's job to put that line in, or is it? Right. So min x is not what I want anymore. Yeah. I gotta have room to draw this line, so why? Okay. What else do I want? Well, let's move to, I need to, let's do another move. Path.move to point x is rec.min x, let's say minus 10. We'll get things adjusted momentarily. And y is rec.max y. And then path.add line to, oh, what was my other option there? Path.add line, add lines. Okay. Yeah, do you think so? I thought I could like switch colors midstream. Add path. Shape here still. Maybe I mean that canvas one did that, but we haven't seen it here, I don't think. Fill. Beta, I don't want that yet. Shape. Stroke style. Line width, cap, join, minor limit. Don't care about that stuff. I care about color. Is there a stroke color? I think this was the tutorial. Well, they've got two colors. Are they using shape? Oh, segment. Interesting. Now that's a path dot fill, but it's not a shape. Oh, path add line. Well, this part's kind of nice. Fill color. How about make a path, make a rectangle. Oh, that's our question, right? You can join in paths without color, converting color converts in the view. Well, would that be better? Cannot reference mutating. Color set in stroke. Yeah. Right. Well, should I draw? I guess I could draw another shape, right? I mean, if my shape was given this thing, draw this one inside it, and this knowing these coordinates from it. But what's the advantage of shape here? Well, I guess that's something. Okay. So, well, let's make a little. I guess I can go after. It's going to be kind of like this, though. I don't know what you call those little lines. I'm going to say guideline, but I don't know what they're really called. That you do in engineering diagrams with little, ideally an arrow. Okay. Well, okay, so what I want to do is draw a guideline. Gap of CG float. Plate height of C. Okay. Now I want to draw okay, so min x. Well, I really want you to tell me the start and maybe the width of the line you want. Okay, so the gap. Draw it like pleaty right into context. I'm going to try drawing it. you're going to tell me, well, someone's going to tell me the start point of my guideline and then the width of my guideline. Okay, so this is X and width. The line height is not a thing. Okay. Well, maybe my height is a thing. Okay, because I need to know how tall to draw my little rectangles. Maybe I don't. I'll just make a little decision there. Okay, now path, I'm going to move to min x, my minimum point, plus start x. This is offset x. And then the height is going to be max y. Okay. I'll comment these for a moment. Oh, path.move to, that's no use to us anymore. Okay. So let me just start and draw a line. Okay. And then y. All right, and let's just try a guideline. Do this one first. Guideline. Offset x should be the pleat length here. Previous pleat. Okay, so let's make this static, that. Previous pleat and static. That gap. Okay. And then down here, guideline is pleaty dot previous pleat, and the width is pleaty dot gap. And blue will do for now. Why can't I see it? Okay. This is previous plate is 70. 75, but that's this, right? Max Y. Headline this. Yeah, okay, I guess we're doing it this way. Middle minus gap. Oh, maybe I gotta do that. What's previous fleet? I guess that's the position of here. All right, so it's not right what I did, but it should show something. Why is it not? Oh, let's do the border again. Is it color? Okay, so there's my thing. Let's make it 20 so we can see, like, why is this not drawing? Okay, I'm gonna take all this stuff out because it was just copied. Move to rectangle min x plus offset x. Min x is 0 plus offset 75. Maybe it should be mid y minus gap. But we're not getting anything. Okay. Well, what if I just pat that move to point x min x y rect dot max y, and then add line to CG point x. I should get a diagonal line. Okay, here we, oh, it's just so thin. All right, let's deal with that. Okay, that's a little suspicious, but oh, that's the other stuff going on. Okay, so let's take these two out. All right. Mid y minus, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Let's make this mid x plus offset. I don't think that's right. No. Okay, so this, sorry, this is 75. This is mid minus that. Mid y minus width divided by 2. Rect, let's do mid. Mid. This is mid y. Whoops. Mid x plus width divided by 2. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so I think we can say the gap start, no, the line start x equals, now what are you giving me? You got to give me, I mean, I guess you should give me this point, this x. So this is start x. And you're going to move to start X. And then you're going to move to start X plus width. All right. And then here, this is no, this maybe isn't the right way. Let me go back to my offsets. Okay, I've tuned this to drawing that gap line. Maybe I just make this be a line that draws in the center. Of its rectangle for the width you specify. Does that make sense? I don't care about offset X. I don't even use it. Okay. Offset X no longer needed. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, length's a better word. Yeah. Okay. I think that's kind of getting there. The gap, let's see, the length is the gap on there. And then this one, take a moment here. Don't need the border. Can lose that. All right, this one, it's pleat width. No. Where's that number? Previous pleat 75. Well, I want to know this. The pleat width is well, let's cheat because we only got a moment. I'll say 100. And it's got to be a CG point or something. Build succeeded, preview paused. All right. Okay, we can play with that. I don't think it's too... I'll have to put a constant in and drive that off there. Get my look anyway. 250, 40. Oh, actually 40 is pretty good. All right. That's getting there. I actually I would love to have little arrowheads and little vertical bars, but that's doable. All right. Well, we'll pick it up there next time. So tomorrow is Thursday, 2 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern time and 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. I think we did pretty good here. I think this looks like something I could plug in and make it work. Let's see, 2 inches and 0 inches. We'll let that 0 problem go away. Okay. Thanks for joining, and hope I see you tomorrow or another time. I had fun with this one. Yeah, draw some small lines from the ends. Yeah, I think that's all we have to do is just take that point and draw the vertical lines on the ends. I don't know, little arrowheads, maybe a little harder. May not be worth it, but we'll see. All right, take care. Bye-bye.